I really want to make sure that we acknowledge everybody. Again, all of those who are joining us in our chat room. We are seeing all of your messages of love and support come through. I really, really appreciate that. I want to take a quick moment to introduce myself, just to get everybody started. My name is Tk'emlups. I'm my English name is Karen Joseph, and I happen to be the CEO of Reconciliation Canada, and I always kind of like to joke that that just means that my dad has these great ideas, and like all of our cultures, then he looks to his eldest daughter and says, "Okay, make that happen." So I'm really glad that you're here. I'm humbled to be in this place with you today, and I wanted to acknowledge that. that I'm on in the village of the Tk'emlups of the Squamish people, and they've always so graciously hosted us at Reconciliation Canada, and in a real way we have lots of partnerships with them. So I really want to acknowledge that. We've got an amazing some time to share with you today. The purpose of today really is to be in ceremony as we prepare for the fourth day, which is tomorrow. We realized the loss of the children was recognized on Thursday. 215 remains found in the Kamloops Indian Residential School grounds that were previously undocumented. And we always say that it's a whispered knowledge. It's always been known amongst our people that this was true. And even when the Truth and Reconciliation Commission happened, this was not really acknowledged in any significant way. The numbers were really unreported because we couldn't get the documents released for all of that. So this is a historic moment, and it's a historic tragedy for us. And so this is why we're here. We at Reconciliation Canada, sometimes you feel like you don't know what you can do. And we really wanted to bring people through the process of mourning that many of us do in all of our nations, most with Indigenous descent, carry on that for a minimum of 4 days. And so just before our loved ones are put into the ground. And so this is the day before the fourth day. This is day 3, where we do our prayers, where we prepare to let those loved ones go. We prepare their way to the other side, if you will. And so that's really the purpose of today. And that's why you'll see all of us in our ceremonial regalia and different things, because we're in that moment. And you'll see the medicine on the screen of the people that have joined us. And medicine is different for everybody. It could be a rock, it could be a simple candle, it could be just an idea that you hold in your head. So it need not be extravagant. Just to be present. You are medicine. And so that's really important. With that, I'd like to welcome my father, Chief, I'll call him Quin Kuligedzi, Chief Dr. Robert Joseph, to start our day off with a prayer.
Greetings, all my relatives from across this land. I'm speaking to you from the Coast Salish Territory, the territories of the Squamish First Nation, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam. It's a difficult moment for us. Our hearts are so heavy, and the tears keep coming back. And so we appreciate that all of you have responded to this invitation for us to share this moment together, to stand together. The idea of Namuyut has never been stronger than in this moment when we need each other. I think about those little ones, those 215 little kids, and there were many more that we'll hear about in the future. And I think about what their last moments might have been, who was with them. There's so many questions, and I think about all of the unfulfilled dreams these little ones had, and it makes it harder. This should never have happened to them. And so today we're in a phase where we're trying to meet some of our protocols and ceremony to persuade those little spirits that the ancestors now await them, now embrace them, that there's no more suffering for those little ones. And I think about all of the people across Canada right now in this moment who are thinking about this tragic announcement. I think this moment, this discovery of our precious little ones in unmarked graves has jolted the consciousness of Canada in a way that will call all of us to work even harder to do justice for them, to make sure they didn't die in vain, that they didn't miss their lives for nothing. And that they know that one day, even though they missed all of their siblings, their moms and dads and grandparents and family members, that we will all be together someday, and that's the promise. So I just want to say a brief prayer in Kwakwala. Kila kesla yusi kwila no kno. Wala skunt again ni no ke. Ispagol imida kwastak. Pedikilida nala. Wala snutakala. Hemi snuk lagi tak alus kaskahoos. Klangunuchi yachono. Slok walachno pibukwene. So see that I waltem lachno sims. Kno ale yachada ike tequila ya. Laksot like that wala sik pedikila nala. Oma eik akila chida sasamanikte la net na kwa. Ka we get excuse these nina mani. Kakabala kales lakus kukwakus. Lakote ika kawala isu. Ka mases nukula lache watem lache hema wisla. You think you get them all my relations. Thank you.
I'm known for that. Thank you for that prayer, Father, for guiding us. It's always so beautiful to hear our language, even though most of the time I don't understand, but I feel the power of your words. And with that, I want to ask my sister from the East, and I'm sorry, sister, I dare not say your name, and other than to say, I'll let you introduce yourselves, my dear one.
Bonjour. Nishike and Dodam, Shkudenigan will Waskunan Indigenous House. Shwanagan Dunji. Nishinave Quail Jibwe Bodwami and Dao. I bring greetings to you all. I'm deeply moved by that prayer. I'm Turtle Clan. I am head or leader of the Fire Flower. I'm known as Kim Wheatley. And I come from the great Anishinaabe nation. where we proudly hold those words, those ceremonies in the highest regard and as the directive force in how to be a good human being on this planet. And it's an honor to be here today on the territories claimed as Robinson Huron lands. They are the lands of our ancestors. And as I stand here in solidarity with a compassionate heart and the medicines and the helpers that my ancestors utilized to guide us through times like this, I share the prayers, I share the ceremonies, hope to share the songs. And I want to acknowledge the children, the families, the communities, the nations, and our time together. I feel deeply connected and welcomed in this circle, which looks like a square on my screen. But I see it as a circle of belonging, a circle of welcome, and a circle of resilience, so that we can use our voices. We can collectively remember our resilience, and we can come together in good ways with good hearts and good minds on this day. So it's an honor to introduce myself in that way and to bear witness to all of the words, the sharing, the ceremonies, and this moment in time that we know will repeat itself. But at this time, we will do our best. Miigwech. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. I'm always so grateful for you, because every time we call on you, there are people that we know in all of our cultures that when you call on them, no matter what time, you know that that love carries you so far that they'll be there. And you're bearing witness to that today with the circles and with the people online. And so I really want to acknowledge that. I miss you. I miss you so much. I was thinking today as I was getting ready for this, I'm going to be building up my hugging muscles. Once COVID's out, you guys better watch it. We all need hugs. And so, Kim, I would invite you to please open us up in any way that you feel moved to open us. I know we had some requests, but I also trust the Creator and what's meant to happen in this moment in time.
It's an honor to be here. There are so many you could have asked. And it's my sincere hope that what I offer, what I bring, how I have navigated grief will be helpful to someone who is tuning in today, and to each and every one of you who are here on the panel. In my time of grief, I was introduced to ceremony because, like many, I was denied that. And at this time, as we try to figure out how to travel this together, I hope you'll remember that we need to do this together, and that we are here for each other. We are holding each other up in all of the known and unknown ways that come from our memory, our blood memory, our ancestors, our helpers, our families, our nations. And so I was taught to sing, and that's where I found my healing. That's where I put myself back together. And when I need help, I always go there. I always sing first, because I find singing goes beyond the restrictions of word clothing. Singing travels through time and goes back to those who were here long before us. And it goes forward to those that will be here long after us. And it connects us, it connects our hearts. It allows our spirits to dance. It reinforces our way of knowing and our way of life in a way that gets shaken when things like this happen. And we are jolted into the rawness of grief and pain and anger and hurt and all those things that are really difficult for a human being to navigate. And what I learned is if I go to ceremony, there is a place for that that can help. There is a recognition and a validation that this is a real experience and that it's okay. There is support and truth in that space that is safe and welcoming and inclusive. And so if you haven't come there yet, if you haven't gone there, if you've not reclaimed your identity, your language, your ceremonies, it's not too late. It belongs to you. It's in your blood. It's your right. And at this time, I want to see across this country, I want to see the jingle dress dancers out there. I want to see all the dancers out there. I want you to wear your best. And I want you to celebrate who you are. And I want you to remind the world, we will never forget who we are. And we will never erase our identities and our connections. We will continue to honor those that came before us, those that were taken from us, and those that will come after us wondering, where are they? Who are they? Why am I here? Where's my place of belonging? And how can I hold that? We are beautiful. We are strong. Our ways are truth. Our ways are kind. Have always been that way. And I choose not to carry anger because it doesn't help. It diminishes. I choose to carry hope. I choose to be activated into some meaningful form of action. Where I choose to celebrate the memories of these children. I look forward to learning their names. I look forward to your prayers and ceremony in their honor, and indeed all of those children whose names we don't speak, and to the families, the communities, and the nations. I hope we get galvanized into really meaningful action on the heels of reconciliation and acts of reconciliation. Those 94 coals have not been activated. I'd like to see that happen now. It should have happened immediately. The humanity in all of us, regardless of our ethnicity, our faith-based practices, our backgrounds, matters not when you remember we're all part of the human race. And we're so intimately connected that this moment should trigger us all into some sort of activated engagement and demands. An apology is not justice. It's a start. But it's not justice. We need justice. We need healing first, so we can do things in a good way with a good heart and mind. So I'm going to offer a healing song. And I'm going to hope that that song medicine travels through this technology. It travels out through all of creation. And it goes to the spaces and places within you that need it most at this time. And that you will find peace of mind in that process, that you will find good health, and that you will embrace a good long life of purpose and meaning, and that you will hold each other up in those good ways, in the big and small and under-recognized and over-recognized ways that some of us are able to contribute and offer from our hearts to yours. So as I sing this song, there are many words that could be spoken. I'm one humble grandmother who can't think of everything, but I wanted to offer something. So I hope you will add words as I sing this song, that you will fill the gaps so that collectively we can do something meaningful for each other, for the children, for the nations, for the families, for the communities, for all of us who are at this time, acknowledging that something very, very profoundly detrimental has been unearthed. And I take comfort in knowing that, the grandmothers and grandfathers, which is all of the sands, the soils, the clays, the gravels, the rocks and the stone beings, those ancient beings, have been embracing those children in their loving care until we could come to this time where we could collectively do the ceremonies, speak the words that we could come to. And so I offer them thanks on this day. For doing that for us. Chimigwech to Reconciliation Canada for holding this space so that we could come together and have some place to go and hear some words and some songs and get ideas on how to continue on.
Ooh. Thank you so much for that. How appropriate as we were bringing people together, that inadvertently we asked the sister to start who sits in the middle of Turtle Island as we're working from coast to coast to coast. The next person I really wanted to make sure that we heard from and that we recognized was to know that we are here with the survivors, that we are here with those children, because that is their friends. We often think about this history when we see these old people with white hair and, you know, big smiles and weathered skin, and we think the survivors were old when that happened, but they weren't. They were our children. And we need to see them as that, because when these things happen, sometimes it can take us back there. And the purpose of this is to bring them medicine, to say, we see you, we're here with you, we hold you, and we love you. And we're making a circle around you as you go through all of this grief, as you go through these memories. And I wanted to invite Tk'emlups, Carla George, to join us and say some words along with her father, George Jacobs, who is also a survivor of the Kamloops Indian Residential School.
Hoitracha, Tk'emlups to Reconciliation Canada, and Hot Squall, Titsis, and Ham, Squalwin, Titsis, Amen. Sharing with you who I am and where I come from, and my heart is crying. My heart is crying today for those children. It was just devastating news when I first heard it, and my dad is a survivor. He went to Kamloops Indian Residential School, and just really grateful for those of our Secwépemc relatives that are here still to tell their story. And so I really wanted to allow my dad first to share a few words. I missed the memo, Shelley, about our regalia, but I got my dad to make sure to get his. I'll have my dad to share what's in his heart and in his mind today about what and how he's feeling. I'm grateful I can be here with him today too, with COVID and all the protocols, and just trying to keep my father safe. So I'm grateful to be here today with him.
And first, I'd like to thank you all for the ones who are doing the sacred work, the things we need to know. And we went to Kamloops in the mid-50s. I became a farmer. Went from a person that lived off fish to being a farmer. But I'll be the first to admit it was an adventure for me. I'm an early riser. I get up 4 or 5 o'clock just about every morning. And that's when we had to go out and feed the cattle, the horses. But also, just a few years back, my wife, Christine Hamzidi, she went to residential school in Alert Bay. And all the people from all over the island, we went down there when they were tearing it down. When we were throwing rocks at the window, all of us, you could feel a release. All the things that happened to my wife, to my sister-in-law, Violet, mostly my brother, Steve Hunt. So many things happened to them.
Hang on, Dad. Sorry, I had a call coming in.
But with what happened here, that came on the news media, I was so devastated. And I still am. I've been brought up as a Catholic all my life, and I followed my religion. But I feel very fragile right now about my religion. It really hurts me. My mother was a devout Catholic. My dad went to church every Sunday. And to see this happen, so tragic, because us Native people, as my good friend Bobby Joseph mentioned earlier about when we put these people away, we put them in the grave, we have a ceremony. I'm sure all the nations, all across North America, not only here in Canada, but down in USA, they went through the same things. To me, I'm still in sorrow for them people that they never had a service. The family never got a chance to say goodbye. And that's a big part of our culture. I'm sure the culture, all the other natives all across here, they have some sort of ceremony. So I really feel somebody has to answer to us. Somebody out there. I think the only one can really say some words to us that knew what happened was the Almighty One, the Tk'emlups, as we call him in our language. The honored one, my mom always called him. God, Jesus. Something we were brought up with to believe, because we all know we need something to believe in. We just weren't thrown on this earth. The Almighty, the Tk'emlups. Thank you.
Thank you. I brought my mama. She unfortunately is dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's, and is in a long-term care home, and recently received some money for day school, and it just hit me in the gut, like she didn't even get to do anything, to have that acknowledgement of her experience. She also went to St. Mike's, and my dad also went to St. Paul's here in our community. And what I just found out yesterday, I was asking why were our Secwépemc people sent to Kamloops, and I found out that St. Paul's only went to grade 8, and that's why some of my relatives about my dad's age, around their 80s, went to Kamloops Indian Residential School. And it's so hard to speak. Like, it's just really, our hearts are just feeling so heavy, and I can feel my voice shaking. And I brought my drum, and I'm going to share a song, Tum Tum Slolum, that we share here in our community during loss quite often. Sisoliat, this was her song, not Tk'emlups. It's an old Secwépemc song, well over 100 years old. And I'll share this in honor of all of those innocent children that lost their lives so needlessly, and there's been no answers to what happened. And we want answers across this country of how many others we want our questions answered. I pray for each and every one of you, especially all of the survivors that are hurting today, all us intergenerational survivors that are hurting as well. I was standing in the middle of the road crying yesterday, and it happened that one of my cousins came up and she said my auntie went too. And so I started to hear more and more people that had gone to Kamloops from here. So with that, just hold my hands up to you, Reconciliation Canada, for organizing this, for doing the ceremony that we're going to do today to honor all of our loved ones. We didn't know them, but they're in our hearts. They are us. We are them. We're connected. Hey. Oh, 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 hey, oh, oh, hey, oh, 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 hey, oh, oh, hey, Siam Chimkwamentomi, Siam and Sia, Isa Poitel, Oitracha, Bela Kasla, Memoyot, is thanking each and every one of you, my beautiful relatives across this country that are joining us today. Thank you.
Well, see, thank you, Carla. You know, you always have to come to this, and I'm so glad that your family had the strength to join us here today. I know how hard this was. I think that even though we heard things and we saw things, and your heart was sunk, it almost felt like somebody kicked you in the stomach when you heard that news. I didn't know, because we're here in this COVID state, how other people were feeling all across this country. And then my dad did a interview on CBC, and I could hear the pain in the grief in his voice. And I thought, oh no, if he's feeling that way, then we know all of our elders that went through that are likely having those same experiences. And so we really wanted to be able to do something to uplift them, and also to show all of those across this country who, especially our younger children, who may be disconnected as a result of that we have all different kinds of ways of connecting to our spirit, of healing through our songs, through our dances, even just by being together. That it might include our religion, it might include our cultures, it might include, you know, just being outside in nature. It doesn't have to be complicated, but that strength and that wisdom lives within us. So I really want to thank you for joining us and for wearing your shirt. I see your shirt, the orange the orange shirt. So thank you. With that, I really want to welcome my other brother, Gigam Gilo, the man of love, I call him. Mr. Paul Lacert, although it sounds funny when you say Mr., because he's such a character. But that's also why I love him, because we all have this silly side in us too. And Paul is one of those people that I get to play and have fun with, which I don't know how to do very well, because I am an intergenerational survivor. And so it's something I need to be taught in a way that's healthy, and in a way that's not somehow harmful, and in a way that's loving and embracing of all of our silliness as well. So thank you, Paul, for joining us today.
All of my respected relatives, Daicho, Chief Joseph, and all of the chiefs that are with us here today. Ngasai, I love you. Tabe and Ngasai, I love you with all my heart. Gilam Gilo Sadni, my traditional name is Gilam Gilo. Paul Lacert Sadni, my English name is Paul. Sagana Laxiliu in Jan Yinkaktene Keoch. I'm a Caribou clan member from the Carrier Nation, Yinkaktene, Earth people. Snachalia kind of Kwangan Keoch. I'm so grateful to be joining you today from the traditional territories of the Lekwungen speaking people, Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations, otherwise known as Victoria. And I'm so grateful to be here today with you. I'm so grateful for this medicine for each and every one of you. to shake hands with our hearts today, to shake hands with our spirits today, to hold each other up. I can feel the medicine, like my sister Karen was saying, I can feel the medicine that's here. It's a really good medicine that's here today. And I can feel all that connective tissue of love that we have here today. And I can feel the connective tissue of our grief, you know, that we have here today. And as has been said, you know, this is what we do. This is what we do. We get together. We get together. A lot of times we get together, you just like sit there like a bump on a log and just hold space, you know, and sometimes we make each other laugh, and sometimes we just bring food, and sometimes we tell stories. And grateful for the space to do a bit of storytelling. And so grateful to our beautiful relatives, all of those at Reconciliation Canada and all of those at the Indian Residential School Survivors Society. I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. I'm so grateful to you, Chief Joseph, and to your kids, my sisters and my brother, for all of your unflinching leadership and your tireless work. And yeah, when you called on us this morning, Chief, to work even harder, you know, I wanted to say that it's a bit overwhelming to hear that. But that it's so important for those words to be spoken. You know, it's so important for those words to be spoken. It kind of woke something up in me, because this pandemic's been pretty exhausting. Really challenged my mental and emotional limits. And then to be invited into this space, and, you know, we don't have any choice, as much as we don't want to be in this, as much as we don't want to have to walk through a fire that's this scorching, you know, we don't have any choice. And so that invitation woke up in me a feeling of strength and wellness and courage and stubbornness and tenacity. You know, that is what you see, I think, showing up for our people right now. And pain, you know, but all of those beautiful things like held together. Yeah, so I wanted to thank you for that warrior invitation, and for invoking that warrior spirit in all of us, Chief, and to say, you know, I accept on my side, my family. We've been spending lots of time together, and we hear your call and we accept it, and we'll step up in whatever way we can, you know, step up our game. I wanted to share a few things this morning that I don't normally talk about, and I want to say that it was like just such a yeah, just a big honor to be asked to share a few things this morning. I don't have any fancy words today. Just a few of our own reflections in our family that we've been having. And So my late first wife, Loretta, she went to the LeJac residential school. Sherilyn, Raven, Sage, and Caressa's late mom. And she passed 7 years ago. And after she passed, we sat with a person that has medicine. Their medicine is they can reach one hand in the stars and one hand in the soil, and they can bring us together with our relatives in the spirit world. So we sat with her, and it was so beautiful because she just started giggling right away. And she right away, like Karen was saying, you know, she brought that joy medicine forward. That was like so much of that. Loretta was so full of joy medicine and just loved to giggle. And so our medicine friend just started giggling right away, you know, and just to get a chance to have another giggle with her, it was really, really special. And she shared with us that it was her dad that came to get her and take her by the hand. And so I know that all of those young ones, you know, all of those young ones that they had also a loving relative that came and took them by the hand. I know that to be true. And it gives me some comfort, you know, notwithstanding the conditions that they were in and the moments they were in when they left this physical world, that as they walked through the door, you know, that they walked into so much beauty. And they walked into connection with our relatives, you know. And that's so beautiful to know that. And it makes me really reflect on our mothers. And I want to invoke that for each of the people that are joining us today, each of our relatives that are joining us today. I want to invoke our mothers and their mother. And I feel her hand on my shoulder, and I want to invite you, if your mother is here or gone, I want to just invite you to feel her hand on your shoulder. And if you feel her hand on your shoulder, and even if you're just listening, you know, can feel her hand on your shoulder. And then if you like feel her arm up to her shoulder, her mom's hand is on her shoulder, you know. And if you follow her arm up, her mom's hand is on her shoulder. And all of our mothers through that unbroken line of water are here with us. All the sacrifices that they had to make so that we could survive, how hard they had to work so that we could survive and that we could thrive in the way that we're doing in this moment. that we could face this huge grief and that we could come together in this beautiful way. You know, they must be so proud of us right now. All of our mothers, right back to our very first mother, which is our Mother Earth. We all have the very first mother. We have the same mom, Mother Earth. You go all the way back through your mothers, you know? And so just, I'm feeling their love. I'm feeling their love. And I know that not a single one of us is alone. And that's really important for me right now, because it's, especially in this pandemic, it's felt pretty lonely and isolating. And so to feel the radiance of that beautiful love, yeah, that feels good. Karen, do I have another minute? Can I take one more minute?
I try to process, my brother.
Okay. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Yeah. Kim. Yeah. Kim and I are running into each other in all kinds of beautiful spaces, and yeah.
That's because love finds love.
Yeah, for sure. So just two last things that, you know, our resurgence, our act of defiance, our pivot from just surviving back to thriving again, our act of defiance is love. It's so incredible that our elders show us that through their generosity. You know, they just like keep showing up in a generous space, and as more and more allies reach out to our people, you know, it'd be so easy to be full of anger and resentment. And all I see from our elders is love and gentleness and generosity. And there's so much strength and like warriorship in that. And so also, Chief, I thank you so much for the invitation to reject rage. I'm full of it. I'm so mad and hurt. And that invitation that you give us all the time, and that our elders and our chiefs and our pipe carriers and all of our beautiful traditional people is just like, you show up with love and generosity and hard work and, you know, like gentleness. And I'm just like, wow, this is like magnificent, you know, it's magnificent. So I wanted to say thank you. We need that. We need that. Otherwise we're going to go to war, you know. We need our warriors too. We sing, part of the work that we do, you know, our brother George was saying, when our people pass, we have work to do. And we sing. Our song is, it's a going away song. And we say, Ninse Datesh. If we say it in our language, we say Ninse Datesh. Ninse Datesh means I will see you soon. And it's on almost all of the carrier headstones. I will see you soon. So we say Ninse Datesh to our young relatives. I'll see you soon. And when we sing for them, we sing like a going away song. It's a travel song, you know. And it's like, it's kind of made to like make them smile and have a little giggle as they're traveling, as their relatives come and grab them by the hand and take them. So sing for our lost loved ones.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom. I found myself going like this is and if you know, my mother is still with us, but I was thinking about my grandmother, and she's the queen of silly too. So I'm going to ask my sister Shelley to take us through just a quick breathing exercise. That's part of our healing too. That's also a ceremonial practice that we have, is to remember to breathe. Thank you so much, Paul, again, for your wisdom, for your love, for your laughter. Shelley?
Yeah, I know that when we're trying really hard not to cry, we stop breathing. And that's not good for our bodies. And when we breathe together, that's connecting us even more in spirit. So I'm going to ask all of you, we're going to inhale through our nose, hold it for 2 seconds, and we're going to exhale through our mouth. But when we exhale, I want you to imagine wherever that tension sits in your body, imagine your breath carrying it out. Okay, so we're going to inhale through our nose. If you can put both feet on the floor, wherever you are. Center your spine and sit up as straight as you can. Bring our shoulders up, push it back, drop it down. Release your tongue from the top of your mouth and let your jaw relax. Okay, we're going to inhale through our nose and exhale. And you can just feel your body coming to relax again.
Thank you, Shelley. I always, whenever they say that that connects us, it also reminds me of the trees that take that breath and cleanse it and put it back out into the world as oxygen. And so it's always that connection to us, to Mother Earth as our caregiver. So every time I do those exercises, I think about that. We're so blessed here to have all of these generous souls be willing to share their messages and their teachings and their wisdom and their love with us. And we have a chief from our own nation who, like everybody here, just gives and gives and gives. And you're right, Paul, you know, we get asked to give more, and you think you just can't do it anymore. And yet when we come together like this with all the other givers, then we're receiving too. And so I pray that all of us are experiencing that, because I'm feeling that today, that I'm receiving with all of the giving that we're doing to one another, as opposed to just feeling it come out with no return, right? And so thank you for that. With that, I would like to introduce Wahawidi, Chief William Wasden, to come and join us and to share some song and teachings with us as well.
Morning, sister.
Good morning, my brother. I miss you.
I miss you too. Yeah, it was just so good to see our relatives already. Carla, nice to see you, and Uncle. My heart was so. I get emotional off and on, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sing clearly through this, but there's so much of this pain and stuff is surfacing for our people, and what comes to mind is that our beautiful baby songs that we have for our children, and how much words of endearment that our Kwakwa people have for children. I just think about those children that were never hugged in that school, and they probably were never told that they were special, or that they were loved and cherished, So anyways, I want to do the Tk'emlups, which is what Uncle wanted me to do. And it's our ceremony for shaking off the sorrow, but it's more importantly to allow their spirits to go, that we're not hanging on to them, and we want them to go across the other side to be where they need to complete their journey. So yeah, I'm just really emotional here. But my name is Tk'emlups. That was my name when I was a little boy, and I wanted to use that today because I was given names when I was a little boy, just because so much of my relatives cared for me and loved me, and I knew I had a place, and I knew I belonged somewhere. My parents are Sibyl Chola, Billy wasn't Lou. That's my mother, Janet. I'm from the Gigilgum clan of the Nimkish people. I'm from the Thunderbird people. Just want to say to everybody that's here, and thank you for the honor. I didn't think it's going to be like this. I just have to compose myself. My grandpa went to residential school, and he was a beautiful grandfather, but he was really hard on his children, and we're products of that. And I just hope that people can find it in them in this country to realize that we deserve recognition, and we deserve kindness and love. We're part of the human race too. And like I was reading today, if it was anybody else's children, I think there would have been a big day off for everybody, a day of mourning, but it just seems like because it's our people, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm gonna sing this Tk'emlups to the best of my ability right now. Tk'emlups means the shaking off ceremony, and for us, we're shaking up our sorrow so we can allow the spirits of our loved ones to go, that we can't hang on to them. And the words are saying in our song, we're going to dress in our wealth and our finery for you. And this is how our people sit in our ceremonial houses, the matriarchs, the women that have had past their childbearing years, because they know how to deal with death in ceremony. And that's why our ladies take care of this business. And then it says, we will do this for you, our noble princes. We're just talking about a prince, a noble son. And the last verse says, we will do this for our noble one, from the noble ones from the beginning. So it's our way of sending them on their way. Okay.
We're with you, William. We're holding you. Our hands are around you.
We yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, Clark, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, hey, oh my, Kya, Haswo my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, Clark, oh my, Kya, Has, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, Clark, oh my, Kya, Has, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, Clark, Ludlow, my Kya, Has, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, yeah, Clark, Ludlow, my Kya, Has, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, yeah, Clark, you'll not my Kya, Has, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, yeah, Clark, you'll not my Kya, Has, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, yeah, Clark, oh my, Kya, Has, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, Clark, oh my, Kya, Has, oh my, Kya, Hasway, yeah, hey, So thank you for allowing us, our people, to contribute in this way. And yeah, I was just totally messed up in the beginning, and then I start to roll when the drum starts. And I just want to sing one more song, and this is for the spirit of those children, but also for all people that went to residential school, because we know that a big part of the scheme of the genocide was to wipe out our sense of family and that sense of the nurturing that our people, how close our people are. If you could break the family's unit apart, then you might have a chance of destroying the spirit of a people. So I just wanted to, Sis, if you could put on, I want to share the wording on it, and it's a children's song. I'll put my goggles on here. Oh, right there. Yeah, and I just wanted to sing this because to me, it just shows how much, and I know all of our First Nations people, how children are so cherished. And amongst our culture, almost every child would have their own baby song made for them by, if it wasn't the parents that did it, it would be an auntie or an uncle or a grandparent. And it would be sung to them almost daily, just to let them know how much they were loved and how special they were. And there's some pretty powerful words. And in my lifetime, I was so blessed to be, someone, even as a man, some of my old uncles would call me Kolai'u, my reason for living. And one of my grandpas used to call me Hasta Hilai'u, the reason that I continue to breathe. And these are things that let you know that you're so loved. And this is for all people that went to residential school that might have not had the chance to experience this type of affection, and especially for those young people that the bodies that they found at Kamloops. So. Ola ekenok egachachus sumen olayo sumen hastachlayo hemen chwenu sumen olayo sumen hastachlayo hemen chwenu sumen olayo sumen hastachlayo hemen chwenu sumen olayo sumen hastachlayo sumen olayo sumen hastachlayo hemen chwenu
Ila kesla kirme. Iskacha chus. Dala chokta pataya chokta nalach. Gachsus sakwaya chus. Kaeda kunta nino kraya. Was dan ook mutla. Is la chus we chust chono nino khe. Ka sastel tafel sida kwastuk. Knoch uka khamet knoch. Secwépemc. Ila kesla kunuk. Kirkemetse.
Thank you, Uncle. I love you very much. And just thank you for allowing me to be a part of today. And I want to say to everybody here, thank you for allowing me to be in a safe space where I could share my emotions. I didn't think it was going to get like that today, but it definitely is something that triggers a lot of things that we've suppressed over the years, generational stuff. So I just want to say thank you again. And I hope that everybody takes from today and gets what they need. So
Thank you so much, Wa, for sharing with us again. You know, we are calling on here today the people that are called on the most and that are tired in this journey. And I truly, truly believe that in gathering all of you here today, that we've been able to uplift you as well, while you give your love and your energy to the rest of us. And so I'm again so grateful for you, grateful for the survivors, for leaving this legacy for us, for making the Truth and Reconciliation Commission happen, for making sure that our children can never wonder why things are the way that they are today, that they will know that there's a place for them to go and know, and that we have these leaders that we have with us today that are able to teach us those amazing lessons of love and cherishment and caring and beauty and all that we have, because many of us, even the intergenerational ones, didn't receive that, because how are they supposed to share that with us? So we're learning, and we're all breaking those cycles. And those of us that are here with us today that are that are of the clans of our brothers and sisters, I really want to thank you for coming and supporting us, because it's not about what religion or what race or what culture or what people you come from. It's about the love that we all share. And it's about our common humanity. And it's about our shared hope for the future. We're building a wave of energy to counter that negativity and that rage and that hurt, and to help to wipe it clean. That's what the smoke does. It's to brush it off. The songs are to brush it off. When Shelley talks about going through the woods and letting the branches brush that sorrow off, when you're you can do it with air, that thing where you heat your hands, you could do that. You can do it with water. It doesn't, no matter where you are, you can use this medicine to give you strength and to take away some of that pain and to connect you to all of us. And that's our strength. That's I like to say for us as Indigenous people, that's our superpower, is our ability to connect with one another. Even in this technology state, I can feel that energy. And it's so beautiful, and it's so needed. And I really want to close with gratitude today, to again thanking all of you for being here, and for any of you to call on the people around you to practice their own ceremonies today, to spend time today in prayer, to spend time today in meditation, or even just quiet, or even listening to your favorite jazz song, whatever it is, but to be conscious and to uplift one another in this time. So we're all here. We're sending our love and our prayers to the spirits of those children, to their families, to all of us for the healing. And so thank you for being here, because you matter. You make a difference. We've had over 2,000 people joining us in different capacities, both here on Zoom, but also on Facebook, and then other areas as well. So we're not alone in this. There's lots of people. We're going to be continuing throughout the week. At 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll start again. That will be a different day. We'll be sharing different things. Every day is different. I wanted to invite Shar to share a few words. Like I said, everybody's going to be doing something. We're doing this, but we're also hosting a burning, which is part of our culture, but specifically because we're in their territories. The Squamish people have generously offered to assist us in doing that in their way, in their territories, and I'm so grateful for them supporting us in this way. So Shar, if you could speak to that a little bit just before we close. That will be the last thing that we share, and then we'll close the circle for today, or the square as Kim calls it. We can make a circle out of anything, so.
Thank you, Karen. And thank you, Paul and Kim and Wah and Uncle George and Carla for joining us, and everyone who's watching with us. It has made these past few days a bit easier, and it's lightened the load on our heart. I'm going to start crying again a little bit. As Karen mentioned, this afternoon, we'll be gathering at Hamulchison Village on our unceded Squamish territory to hold a sacred fire, a burning to honor and nourish the children found at the Kamloops IRS. We hope that these children can be brought home and that they can find peace. And we ask you to join us in spirit today to share your songs, your ceremonies, your prayers. Whatever your religion, your culture, your background, your spiritual practice, we ask that you take some time to honor these children. We want to acknowledge the communities and the nations across the country that are holding ceremonies. We hold our hands up to them for lighting their sacred fires, for giving offerings, and for honoring these lives that were lost too soon. We ask that during these challenging times, that you keep our survivors and our intergenerational survivors in your hearts and in your prayers. And we're calling on each and every one of you watching this live stream, watching the recording, to take a moment today to pray, to smudge, to brush, or whatever your practice is, to honor these children. So many beautiful words have been shared today. And I have one final request for all of you, for today and for every day. Hold your children close to you. Hug them, love them. Let them know how important they are, how precious and special each and every one of them are. Because a lot of our children didn't get that. And we can be the change. It was so beautiful. Our love is an act of defiance. Thank you for those words. And thank you, Karen, for giving me space to share.
Thank you, Shar. I'm so glad you're moving into that, your own voice and your own teachings and your own power, because we all see it. So thank you for trusting us and for sharing that and for reminding us that we have to go home today and be with our own children. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We will close the circle now. And again, I lift my hands up in thanks and praise to all of you. Thank you.